welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and if you're watching Crappens on Demand, you may notice that the person next to me is not Ronnie Karam, unless his surgery went dreadfully wrong.
I tried to look like him, but it just didn't come together.
Ronnie is, he actually got his eyes done today, which is so exciting. And,
congratulations, Ronnie.
Congratulations. All eyes on Ronnie. But so in his place, we want Ronnie to have a very speedy and wonderful recovery.
We do.
We have a luminary. This is someone who is so impressive and so, I'm going to say, important.
Oh gosh, this is I did not write this.
No, what you have written is many things. You are the co-host of One Song, which is a podcast you can listen to right now if you're a music fan. Even if you're not a music fan, you should just listen to it. You are also the creator of Southside, a beloved and hilarious show, and Sherman Showcase, and you're a writer on Jimmy Fallon, and you've worked with the likes from anywhere from Maya Rudolph to Barack Obama. And now you are here. It's Diallo Riddle. Hi, Diallo.
Hey, thank you for having me. I got to say that I was telling you right before we started that I've done many things, but this is where I don't want to fuck it up because this is it's literally such my favorite podcast that I have nothing to do with. And this is actually the podcast that got me into Bravo.
Really?
Before I watched Bravo, I would walk through the room and my wife was laughing and I was like, oh, what is she laughing at? And I was hoping it was something I'd written, but no, it was you guys. And we came and saw you guys live at one of your shows in New York. And I was immediately like, what these guys do is freaking special. Like it was so funny. And so I started listening to the podcast, and then I started watching the shows so that I could get an extra layer from this podcast. And when I went on Watch What Happens, I actually told Andy, I was like, I wasn't even into Bravo until Watch What Crappens came along, and he was just like, yeah, I love what they do. So
yeah,
there you go.
That's awesome. And you had a very special night because you got to be on the same night as Meredith Marks.
And I'm so happy. Not only did I get to meet Meredith, but Brooks was there. And we got to hang out with them in New York that night. We got to hang out with Brooks. It was really fun and kind of surreal. Are you watching Next Gen New York City? Absolutely. And I think, it's just Brooks is a star. And I feel like there's a lot going on in that show. I just started watching it, but I'm loving it so far. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it too. Brooks is a revelation on that show because I always thought Brooks was this fashion city gay who's just like over everything, just like going to a fashion show. But it turns out he's like very meek and sweet, and he just wants to be home and crochet and things like that, and that's like so lovely. I love the scene where he says you fired me. Yeah. That was so funny because I feel like she was like kind of like on the verge of firing him the night we were hanging out. Oh, really? So I was just like, man, that just must be something she does. I think that she's like Murphy Brown. She's just like, you are fired. Except it's always the same secretary. I will say when I was on Watch What Happens, she said something to the effect of, because I was on there to talk about Salt Lake, which is, obviously surreally good. But at some point, I think I had mentioned Beverly Hills at the time a couple of times. And she turns to me during a commercial. She's like, what about my show? And I was like, oh, Meredith, I have so much to say about your show. Why are you not talking about Salt Lake City? I brought my toddler here, and you're not even entertaining him. Brooks is getting ready to leave. Meredith was kind enough to come on to our show when we were in Utah a few years ago, and she was great. She was so fun. And Seth was there. We had no Brooks. We had Heather, though. So that was a fun time. I can't wait for Salt Lake City to come back. However, in the meantime, yes, we have, I think, probably the next best thing to Salt Lake City. It really is special, which is Miami. Yes, it is so good. And so much happened in this episode in particular, because I will say that the whole fight between Julia and Gertie was really, it was kind of getting me down. Yeah. I was definitely, I'm a Team Gertie kind of person. I felt like, to see Kiki and the other ones sort of not understand where she was coming from was a little bit, I was just like, are y'all not listening to this poor lady? I thought that was wild. The reason why I called upon you today for Miami, aside from the fact that you are wonderful. And by the way, thanks again for mentioning our podcast to Barack Obama. That was a real honor.
That was I'm pretty sure you did. I'm just assuming you did.
Yeah, oh, of course, it was the first thing out of my mouth.
You're like hope, more like Crappens. But the reason why is you were also, this is not your first time technically on the podcast, because you've been a host. You've been a presenter 2 times.
Yes.
On the Crappies. And
I mark my calendar. I love the Crappies. The Crappies are so much fun. And if you're in that city, you have to drop everything.
Well, thank you.
It is so much fun. And it's not even just for who might show up. It's for the camaraderie you feel in that audience. Like we were all singing Away in a Manger in a Barlow voice at one point in the audience. Like it is absolutely up there with BravoCon, I think.
Thank you. I mean, it's the best. We love putting on that show, and because you do bring everyone together and everyone cheers. But the reason why I brought you on for Miami Day, because I'm gonna have subs all week, which will be very exciting. But I thought of you for Miami because 3 years ago when we did it at the Wiltern, Miami won Best Show of the Year at the Crappies that year, and you were sitting in the front row, and I just remember opening up the envelope to announce like Best Show of the Year and reading Real Housewives of Miami, and you fist pumped. You jumped from your seat and you punched the air and went, yes!
There was an open bar. Let's be clear. Miami is special. I freaking love Miami. It has so many things going on in it that don't happen on any other show.
Yeah.
Specifically, I love the fact that you have such a diverse cast. Like it hits so many different levels, and you have like, Alexia. It seems like there's a rotating cast out of that last position. Dr. Nicole's gone, but now we have Stephanie. Like it's never stopped being interesting.
Yeah, they really they understand the assignment. Like I feel like everyone understands the assignment. It's not just the cast members. It's like production does too.
Yes, I meant to say that. I feel like this is the show that changed the way all the housewife shows 100%. Are shot. Yeah,
it looks beautiful.
Yep.
It's shot beautifully. It showcases the city. I really just love it. My one I'm gonna give a quibble, which is that this episode they were starting to do that thing where a lot of on-screen chirons and silliness in terms of goddess of this and that later on. I don't know if we need that. I don't like when shows do that because
goddess
the
of tardiness. Yeah,
we don't need the show to add a joke onto the joke. The women are already funny enough, so when they do that, it's you don't need to squeeze that lemon for extra juice. There's so much lemonade already coming. Agree.
Can I also say I'm a music guy? I always notice music. The other thing that they've gone, and I never thought I would be saying this, but I think bring back Trixie Monaco. I think bring it, because now they're doing this sort of generic instrumental reggaeton as transitions, and I kind of miss Miami's hot, the heat will burn you. I miss all those dumb.
I know
songs.
it's like they were doing AI generated lyrics before ChatGPT came along. Yes. It was okay, we need a song about Miami and heat and the tropics and the beat,
or plug in the words boss, bitch, handle my business, watch me do it's weird because before AI was everywhere, I felt like there was AI generating these songs, and now that we have AI, they're not doing any lyrics. It's very confusing.
They're really slacking on the job. I mean, if you're gonna take over the world, at least do a good job of it, right? By the way, I people who don't know about one song is that you guys you take a song and you just go in and you to peel away layer by layer and analyze the shit out of it, which of course begs an important question: are you going to do the one song treatment for Adriana's song on Fire?
We absolutely.
I think that you have. You pretty much just did the lyrics.
That is absolutely. We need to do that. You know, the thing is, we'll probably need to find the musical stems on our show. We don't just talk about the cultural context in which it was created, which for her would be amazing. But we also had to find the stems, because we want to say, hey, here's the drum line, here's the bass line. And then we talk about the legacy. I don't know that Faya's legacy has ever been explored on a podcast. It is definitely a gap in our repertoire.
I'm sure we can find the GarageBand file for you, and we will get those loops ready for your podcast as soon as possible.
Looking forward to it.
I'm not going to lie, I do wind up singing that song to myself a lot, way more. But anyway, let's get into it. We've already bantered so much. This is a big episode for 2 reasons. We didn't recap last week because we were off for July 4th.
Oh, wow.
And so this is our first time on the podcast talking about the taglines and also the new cast members. So this is instrumental. And for anyone who's watching with Crappens on Demand, it may look very different. That's because since we're in person, we're using my in-person camera setup. So if there's any wonkiness, I apologize ahead of time. I've literally never done this with Crappens. I've done it with my board game stuff, but not this. So apologies ahead of time. But shall we get into the Miami taglines?
Let's get into the taglines.
So the first one is Alexia, and she says, "Well, I may be a Cuban doll, but I'm no one's toy." How do you feel? Is that
well? Can I just say I thought she was going to change this tagline, because I think they had to change it for like a copyright or something like that.
Oh, Barbie,
Barbie, yeah.
I like. Mattel was like, you know what? This is too much. She doesn't represent the brand,
which is weird because it means like somebody at Mattel was really watching the show. Like, I mean, like I thought she would change it, but now we've got the same one for the past 2 years. But she is admittedly one of my favorite, on the show. Yeah, she's the one who actually wrote me in the beginning.
Yeah, she is actually great, and it's amazing because in the first 3 seasons of the show, she was not the central one, and now that they've like really centered her, she's just one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, she does feel like the center of the show.
Yes. Then we go to Larsa, who says, "It's hard to get on my bad side, because I don't have one,
like honestly, if I'm being honest." Yeah, Larsa, man, I feel like she's another sort of, you can't replace her. Like, you need her on the show. I mean,
yeah.
And especially in this season, I feel like she's in rare form. She's in top
Larsa,
form.
So she was on season 1 and then not season 2, season 3. She was so awful season 1. Did you ever watch those original 3 seasons?
I've gone back and discovered that.
She was wretched that first season. But now, I mean, she's not wretched, but she's like entertaining wretched now.
She's such a good, and I'm calling her a villain, but really, like, she's the villain that you have to have on the show. Like, There's nothing better than, and granted, we didn't know he was going to die yet, but when they're in the car going to the Milan, and she says, "Your father is dying, and you're here in Milan," it's just like that's the kind of energy that I think we need on the show.
Yeah, and I actually love when Larsa drops her baby doll voice to get real, which is because normally she's like, "I had a really good time today. I'm in Milan." And she's like, "What?" And Lisa's like, "Well, my dad's dying." She's like, "Well, what are you doing here in Milan?" And I love like this other voice comes out, like the real Larsa.
That's the real Larsa. That's the real Larsa. I mean, like, I almost don't recognize her when like that scene where she's with her mom or whatever. But like, when she comes out, How much do we love Preston Pippin, by the way? I love that.
Yeah, sure.
He seems nice. He seems like a cool guy.
I have to say, I have remarkably few opinions on Preston Pippin.
I don't know. It was nice to see such a chill dude who looks identical to his dad. I gotta say, the other thing I loved about that Milan episode was Fabulous.
Fabulous as the referee.
That was Judge Fabulous. By the way, I would totally watch Judge Fabulous.
100%.
Like, Fabulous settles an argument between two people he just met at a party every episode. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, good for him. Fabulous. He lives up to his name. But Larsa, what do you think about this line? It's hard to get on my bad side because I don't have one. I feel like it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I feel like it could be a little better.
Yeah, I mean, especially for Larsa, it's such a big personality. You want something that like really screams out. But you know what I do like about it? It's in its own way dishonest.
Yes,
so it's definitely on character.
Yes,
that's what I like about it.
Then we have Gertie, who says, "I'm a fierce fighter and an even stronger survivor." Yeah,
she got the words out.
Yeah,
with Gertie, it's always like this push and pull. No, I mean, like, look, we're so happy that she's cancer free, and I've really been following. I've been on her side for a lot of the struggles this season.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're all on Team Gertie. Julia.
Oh gosh,
my chicken coop is full, and now so is my house. Not her glass of water. It's not full. Not full anymore.
Not full. I thought we were going to go with some kind of goat reference, to raise goats, you've got to be the goat. Or just something
sitting there, like
sitting right there.
I mean, chickens are not really her personality. It's more like goats. I thought actually like today. Yeah, I was surprised that chickens got the tagline, not the goat. And then in today's episode, as we see, there's a very serious hurricane that comes through. Which I love. I love that the show has a hurricane in the middle of it. And she mentions that she had to lock up all her chickens in the coop. And I was like, oh, so this is why the tagline, because the chickens are going to get loose and they're going to run away. It's going to be a whole drama for her. But they didn't. The chickens were fine.
I feel like with Julia, there's so many directions they could have gone. I'm not sure even that the end of it. And now so is my house. Okay, kind of. But we haven't even seen these kids. I don't know.
It seems like a big house. I feel like 2 children. It's like it's
exactly.
I don't know.
Martina's not hurting for space.
Yeah. Lisa, I may not be prompt, but I'm worth the wait. And our shady ass note taker. I think this is a typo. But I love her.
So she spelled Wade WEIGHT. A little bit of shade there.
I think it was a typo, but it's a very funny typo, Nadine. So we appreciate you.
No, Lisa's having a stand-up year. You know, she finally got to briefly walk the runway. That was the shortest walk I have ever seen. Ever. Yes. Like, I was like, did she like just cut it in half? I feel like she didn't walk as far as she's supposed to.
She, maybe she missed the first half of her walk because she was late. I don't know. By the way, I'm not sure that Lisa Hoxton is worth the wait. When she says I may not be prompt, but I'm worth the wait. I'm not sure 2 hours is a long time to validate.
Man, I mean, like that 2 hours seems interminable. I don't know how they got those. I mean, that must have been part of. Sometimes I don't know if I should even say this, but I'm going to say it.
Say it.
Sometimes I feel like the producers have to know, like when Lisa and Larsa had the same car, like that seemed like that was just to stir the pot a little bit. And then maybe they gave Lisa the wrong time because 2 hours is insane.
So, back in like the early days of Crappens, Jill Zarin came on to the show and she was like, you know what the producers do? They always make us run late. They always put us in cars that make us run late. So that way when we get to the event, we're all agitated. And that's for 10 years that has stayed with me, that's actually one of the things up their sleeve. They're not late. It's just the producers send the cars late and then everyone's annoyed and then they fight.
And then they fight.
And then they can't say, well, production was late.
And by the way, it was suspicious. I knew somebody was going to be late this season when we first meet Stephanie. And the first thing she says is, there are a couple of things I don't like. I don't like people who are late. Yes. Like, oh, this is the callback. Okay, I get it.
She's like, I'm going to set up my storyline for the producers. They know how to set the scene. I don't like when people are late. I hate when people eat olives. It's like next episode, like olive party.
No, that was, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I see some foreshadowing happening here.
And speaking of Stephanie, you want to do Stephanie's line? You do it.
I don't just sell luxury, I live it. Okay, like I feel like if you had a plug and play with a lot of Stephanie's, just this initial, we've only known her for 2 episodes essentially. I feel like there's always St. Bart's or Birkin bag, or like some of these things are like sort of like Real Housewives staples, but there seems to be just this, when she's talking about the gifts that she gave to her, sisters, she doesn't say, SUV or car. She's like very specific, Range Rover.
Yes.
Like there just seems to be just this extra level of like, I'm going to remind you that I know brands. I don't know.
Yes. I think that I read that as an endorsement. Like she's just so extra obnoxious. I'm like, great. Welcome to the show.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
I have to say, and we can talk about Stephanie because we had a whole episode already. I think so far I am very enthusiastic.
You're on board,
I think that she's totally obnoxious. She reminds me of like if Salma Hayek were like a minion.
This is literally bring up Minion. I was going to say this for later, but listen, I'm almost never Team Lisa. But when Lisa said, "Who are you, Boss Baby?"
I was like,
and then the editors cut to a very Boss Baby shot of Stephanie. I lost it. So now you're saying the Minions and the Boss Baby.
Yeah, when she said Boss Baby, I was like, "That's hilarious." But then
so funny.
Right now, I was like, "But I think it's actually maybe she's like a minion with like a little
Steve
with like a little bob. I don't know if it's a bob or whatever, flip or something. She just sort of walks around and she has her like retro like Jackie Onassis outfits.
Oh my gosh! But I think I hear you on that. I think this is going to be a character that we get to love. There are a couple of. Did you get Bronwyn vibes?
I didn't say that. I didn't say we're going to get to love her. I just said that she's going to fit in.
Yeah, she's gonna fit in. I was getting Bronwyn vibes a little bit.
That was the first thing I thought.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I think that like anytime you hear, I haven't talked to this family member in a decade or something like that, and you're like, oh, this is definitely going to be a story. I can't wait for the internet to do its detecting.
Oh yeah, everything's gonna come out. We're gonna find out that her whole group is bankrupt, and it's just gonna all crumble for her. We see the trajectory already. But I love that she comes in and she feels very comfortable.
Yeah.
But she is obnoxious. Like, oh my goodness, like the way she was greeting people, I was like, oh God, she would wear me out in real life. But on the show, I'm very happy about this, And we'll get to what happens later today. I really enjoyed how she handled herself today. But why don't we dive into the episode? So we open up with Alexia. Oh God, what a funny scene to open up with. So Alexia arrives at a restaurant and she comes over and she meets this guy named Daniel, who is a self-help expert.
Yes.
And he's just sitting there. And I'm already just like laughing at the idea of being a self-help expert. I was like, does that mean you're an expert at teaching self-help?
Everything about her makes me laugh. I always told my wife, I'm like, she feels like sort of like this. There's some kind of bird. Maybe it's like an ostrich. Like there's just something about her where her posture and everything just feels like she's like.
And she carries her like when she gets into a certain mood where she like lifts her chin up high and she's like very imperial. Like, I decided this. I'm going to meet with self-help expert. Yep. So
and I like how she says that she's like, he's very young, but he's very wise. And I'm like, he's a self-help expert. Like you said, I'm like, I had not quite heard of that before.
Yeah. I've heard of like motivational speaker, but like self-help expert it almost sounds like he helps other people who do self-help.
to self-help the way he self-helps.
Right. It's like, he's like, if you want to write a book about self-help, I will tell you how to do it. He's like a meta self-help person. But she's like, yeah, he's so wise, so they've met she says that they've met because she was on Instagram and we see all these flashbacks, about like, Alexia's journey with Todd trying to get over her shit. And she's like, oh, well, I came across Daniel on Instagram and he's like a life coach. So I just started liking his pictures. And I just felt like a lot of the messages he was posting really resonated with me and like what I was going through. So these are some of the memes that he has. Never try to defend yourself against a narcissist. They already know you're right. They just want you to go crazy trying to prove it. Oh, he's so wise. Wise beyond his years. I just love that she's saying like how wise he is. Like he's like has tenure at like UCLA. He like started some program in like understanding narcissism. And it's just like he has very trite memes up about like, if you don't like yourself, then look in the other way or something like that. Very generic.
It's basically everything that gets forward. He's almost like a meme aggregator, but he like has half of it the meme and the top half is like a picture of himself.
Yes.
Which is sort of weird when you're always addressing narcissism.
He's kind of like to self-help what Adriana's lyricist is to music. Like he's sort of like a predecessor to AI.
I do love that song. I love it so much.
It's so good. It's really good.
I also really appreciate the fact that they do this montage flashback to all the stuff that Alexia's been going through, and she's really been going through a lot. I mean,
yes.
Like you really want to like look out for her. I mean, trust me, I am one of those people. I just don't understand why she thinks that Todd is good for her in any respect.
Yeah,
and you really just want to kind of reach to the screen and be like, come on, dude.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I think that she does not want to fail at marriage 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think that
always comes up, right? Mm-hmm. She's like, I've already been divorced 3 times. Totally.
For the Frankie. And so I think that like there's a part of her that's like, maybe I can make this work because if I fail at marriage 3 times, maybe I have a problem, which she doesn't necessarily have a problem. Maybe she chooses the wrong guys, but that doesn't mean that you're a
when she says I'm still attracted to that fucking asshole. I was like, oh, is the dream of every fucking asshole who ever lived.
Yeah.
Some woman is like crying over him saying that she's still attracted to him.
And it's like Todd of all people. I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like I don't know, if it was like Mauricio, but like
even that random French guy who Adriana showed up with.
That guy.
That kind of makes sense.
Even Martina, okay? Even Martina.
Who had the weirdest take of the entire season when Gertie came over and said hi to her and she just kind of shook her head and smiled with this Joker grin. That was so weird.
I know. That was amazing. But yeah, Alexia is just like going through it. And so she was like, I was listening to a lot of life coaches and a lot of them were women. But I guess with Daniel, it was just a different perspective because like it was coming from a man. And so even though he was so young, he had so much wisdom. He had man wisdom. I don't know what about him being a man.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. This is my personal issue with Alexia. Like I love the person who I see on the show. And I'm like, oh man, it'd be great to meet her in real life and be like best friends. But then I'm like, there's like a weird sort of like, dare I say, like a conservatism that probably comes from like her, the part of the Cuban culture she sort of seems to cling tightest to. But like, just like, yeah, the fact that he's a man meant something to her. And I was just like,
Yes.
seems like you could probably take this advice from anybody.
Yeah, I was like, maybe she's trying to like say, well, I understand. Well, it's not even she's saying from a man.
She pressed it with by saying something like, like I went to all these like, women coaches, but then he seemed to really connect with me, even though he was a man. And then, and then she sort of went off from there. So in her defense, that probably did mean something to her.
She's on a real anti-narcissism kick this season, which I think is actually really funny. I mean, hey, I stand by it. Like, let's get rid of the narcissist. But I hate to say it, but like, it's a show it's a network that's built on narcissism. I mean, she even kind of references
they're all narcs, as Marital would say.
Watch out for the narcs. The narcs are gonna get you. It's like, that's not.
She's so proud. Can I say Marital? I've been really happy with this season because she let all the cocky jokes pretty much go. Yeah. That stuff was like coming across as grandma jokes, and I was just like, God, really? Do we have to make that joke every episode? I feel like she's been a lot more real, and I'm really happy about her.
I liked her
wedding.
Yeah, it was nice. I thought it was like when she said some of those sentiments about like, well, we're getting old and we need to look after each other. I was like, that was actually really sweet.
Really touching.
Yeah, it was touching.
That was really touching. Apparently, her brother can't get dressed up for the occasion.
No,
he was literally just wearing a shirt with 3 buttons open. But
she had an eye patch on for some reason. I don't even remember why, but.
Let me tell you, I played a character with an eye patch on Sherman Showcase, and it seems fun when you're writing it. Yeah. But I sympathize with her. Dude, you don't realize it's not like closing one eye. There's something weird that happens when you're covering up that much of your face. You lose all depth perception. It's terrible.
Yeah. You're a hero for getting through that.
Thank you so much.
So this guy Daniel's like, well, you know what? You do, when you meet people, you do get that gut feeling, and you have to listen to your gut. 1 flag will turn into 10 flags, and by the 10th flag, you've lost who you are.
By the 20th flag, you do.
By the 20th flag, you turn to Lisa Hochstein.
Did you really understand that by the 10th flag thing? I think I know the point he was trying to make, but it was such a weird way to make it.
Yeah, I guess it's that you're seeing so many flags. You've ignored so many flags that you've forgotten who you are. I guess you've just you've skied past them. Exactly. Off the slope into the abyss, and you've lost yourself completely. And she's like, oh yeah, oh well, my head, my thoughts aren't aligned with my heart right now. Like, my head is telling me, Alexia, be careful, but my heart is so strong that it can kind of just like blank out my head, which I think is kind of a funny concept with Alexia. Like, I hate to break some news to you, but I think the head may have been blinked out before. So he's just like, you'd think yourself, and you're still so susceptible to being on the receiving end of it, and that's why you need to be so self-aware. And as you know, I've written 3 books now and coached over 350 people into being victims of narcissistic abuse, as he winks to the camera and like a twinkle appears in his teeth.
This guy, I always feel like there's just a certain group of people who show up when you have a lot of money. And yes. they've figured their way into your wallet. There's a little bit of that going on with Danny.
This is the guy. So I thought, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is just a scene where Alexia is just going through her narcissism thing, and she's, figuring it out and talking to some guy, because they always pick up these random strays on this show and have these like mojitos with them. But then the surprise of the scene is that she announces to us that she's going to be having an anti-narcissism party, and it's going to be Greek.
A Greek theme, as one does.
A toga party.
As one does. We're always throwing those.
Greek inspired. She's like, well, that's where narcissism began. The Greeks.
Okay, that's where the word narcissist. Yeah. There were no narcissists in ancient Egypt.
No,
that wasn't a thing.
There. No,
Pharaoh was humble.
Pharaoh, very humble. Greeks,
no humility. He built a pyramid. It was for the people. That's why he had the people.
The first person who tried tzatziki just became instant narcissists.
That is so funny.
I love that she's doing, because this is why I love the show. That they're having an anti-narcissism Greeks gods and goddess party. It makes literally no sense, but we're going to do it anyway. And there's also going to be a hurricane too.
Well, I will say, now's probably a good time to say I feel like I learned so much from this show about like safety.
Yeah.
I had no idea that coconuts were killing people in Miami. I had no idea.
I thought it was the frozen iguanas falling out of the trees. That's what I heard.
Well, I'm also like, I guess between coconuts falling and lightning, these are the worries that people in Miami have.
I know.
This PSA is up there with I forget which maybe it was Alexia, but she was like, some people have that disease where eyeballs fall out of their head. When they were talking about Jody, did you remember that?
Yes.
They're like, well, some people have that disease where their eyeballs fall out of their head. I was like, these are the PSAs other shows aren't willing to tell us about because I didn't know that was a disease.
And what I like about Miami is I'm not sure if they are PSAs because they are definitely are public service announcements. I just don't know if they're actually.
I don't know if anybody's fact checked. I don't know that I believe coconuts kill more people than the lightning strikes.
Coconut deaths per year. Actually, I feel like I heard this and I thought it was like it was a lie. True. Okay. Yes, it was on another Bravo show that this came up. The claim, this is brought to you by Adriana's Lyricists, aka Google AI, because that's the only thing that answers things.
But he's not writing songs.
Yeah. The claim, we don't want Grok to be writing songs, I'll tell you that much.
We thought Kanye was bad. Grok's going for the throne.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even talk about Lisa with that last name.
No, he wouldn't. It's like, I refuse. He's like a baker in Colorado. So the claim that 150 people are killed annually by falling coconuts is widely considered a myth.
Oh, see?
While some deaths do occur.
You can't trust anybody.
I mean, if Adriana isn't going to be accurate about coconut deaths, who will be? But we now go to Lisa Hoxie's home, and she's like, well, I thought we dodged hurricane season. It's still category 5. Which, by the way, I guess now is a good time to mention. We never really talk about this. I don't know why Ryan and I do Lisa Hoxie like, wow, talk like this. But it's fun.
But it captures something about her. Yeah, no, that's one thing I love about you guys. It's just like you guys get down to the essence. I'm always blown away by the voices.
So she's talking about how they've dodged hurricane season, and Jody, full of charisma as always, says this time he's so excited he parts his teeth by I think 0.5 millimeter.
Doesn't he seem like a guy who's like very like doesn't want to be there? Even when she sat down to talk about her father, like his body language was like I was literally like, does he want to be in that room? It was very weird.
I think he wants to be in a room with some better AC. I think that's it. That's all he's
all about the AC.
Just need some AC. So he's like, oh, I didn't see it getting to be that bad. I mean, this place has a lot of windows. Well, hurricane insurance. You're supposed to have hurricane insurance, right? It's by law. You have to have hurricane insurance. He's like, yeah, don't worry. It's not going to be a problem at all. But what about the hurricane insurance? Okay, all right. How about that new house that Lenny is building? So Lisa's telling us that Lenny is still building this house for her. This is going to be a shitty house, right? This is a house that's going to fall apart, right?
Absolutely. I think we all, first off, I don't know how many of us knew what MSA stood for. That was new for me.
That was a PSA about MSA.
It was a PSA about MSA's marital settlement agreement. This is a weird coupling because I also, I want to say, I think that Jody truly does have her back in these times. But her brain still seems very Lenny focused. In
100%. Yeah, she's full Lenny. She's full Lenny on the mind.
She has not moved on from Lenny. And but then when you see like her weird relationship with her father, you realize that she's kind of used to having, sort of almost like an absence of the approval of the man she really wants. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it kind of started with the father. It looks like, does. And then of course, and now it's Lenny.
I mean, pretty much, like I would say 75% of all Real Housewives are just grappling with issues from their father. I think that's just it all. It just goes back there.
I hadn't really thought of it that way. I thought maybe parental, but you're kind of right. There does seem to be this trend.
I think it's going to be, I feel like I'm sure they have mommy
like Whitney's from Salt Lake. Whitney's dad is like in season 1.
Yeah.
And then he really disappears around season 2 or 3.
Yeah. He literally disappears.
Yeah.
I think that they're all just trying to like deal with their daddy issues in some way. And, God bless. Man, if only they had an Australian self-help expert to guide them along the way.
That's all they need, man.
They could have been so much happier. So Lisa's talking about her like this MSA and everything, and then she's also like really mad because Larsa brought up Jody at Marisol's wedding, and she's like, I feel like people take advantage of me, and then you came into my life, and that stopped, and people are mad about it. People are mad that I've got somebody that has my back, and that's fucked up. That's what it is.
Can I just say, like, I think and I always think Larsa's a bit of a villain, but I kind of agree with Larsa that it's weird it's not weird that they ran into Marcus, at the restaurant. To me, it is weird that they would take a selfie, even if Marcus takes the selfie, why post it? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why would Jody post that?
It's weird that Jody posted that. Like, because Lisa didn't take the
That's
selfie.
thirsty. I think that is thirsty.
That is and it's also like, why are you clout chasing with Marcus? of all the people,
of all the
Miami,
Jordans,
of all the Jordans, when you could be clout chasing with an actual Pippen instead. You could probably clout chase with the Pippen if you play your cards right.
Maybe. I just think that it's I kind of understand where Lars is coming from. That, of course, she always presents, she's an example of somebody who can be on the right side and present it in the worst way.
Yes.
But I think that yeah.
Well, so Lisa's just still like really mad at Larsa about this about like the fact that Larsa brought up Jody at the wedding, and now she's got like a chip on her shoulder, and she's gonna, their feud is gonna grow.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So now we go over to Stephanie walking into a place called Shoma Bazaar.
You don't know what Shoma is? Shoma. I mean, like, if you go to Miami, you're going to visit Shoma.
Shoma. I mean, it's like the MoMA, except it's quiet.
It's got one of these really tacky Shoma written all over the wall sort of thing. And I like how like Stephanie went out of her way to say, oh, he started in the early 80s, I think before I was born. Like, it's like, okay, you definitely prefaced 80s with early so that you could say that it's before you were born. Hence, I'm so young.
Yes, exactly. She's like, I'm pushing the fact that she's so young while she's dressing like she's from Mad Men.
From the 60s.
So she's coming inside. It's raining outside, and like she doesn't want to get her Birkin wet and everything. And so she starts telling us
just an excuse to mention her Birkin.
Yep, just an excuse.
Just in case you didn't see it.
Yep.
Oh my God, I might have gotten this Birkin wet.
Don't want to get the Birkin wet. Well, why'd you take it out? It was raining when you left the home.
It was raining. It was raining when you were walking from the car. Like,
is your JCPenney bag for the rainy days?
That was extreme.
You have to have a rainy day bag, I assume. So she says this whole thing about how her husband started the Shoma Group and everything, and that they built over 12,000 homes and condominiums and townhouses.
Aren't the condominiums in Miami falling over anyway?
I just have to assume so. I assume.
I actually meant to look up and see whether his was one of the ones that collapsed, but hers is, of course, Shoma Bazaar, which is a restaurant sort of like bar type thing.
I don't know what it was. It almost looked like a WeWork in there. It was like...
It wasn't clear.
It was...
it looked like her manager was in trouble for last week's sales because he was like, it's been much better this week.
Yes.
It's a weird
Hello, madame.
It's a weird thing to lead with.
It's sort of actually not even a WeWork. It almost felt like one of those like Capital One cafes that you see around.
Totally.
I was like, what is this Shoma Bazaar? Do they have a credit card? What are they doing in there? So they're there, and I guarantee, by the way, we are definitely going to start seeing lots of lawsuits against the Shoma Group. Everything's going to get dug up. It's all going to come out.
I'm getting that vibe
Class
too.
action.
Yes.
This happened. Someone fell down a staircase.
We're gonna find out her husband has done some really crooked stuff.
It's all gonna come out in the wash. It's gonna be great. I mean, first you just can't have a real estate developer that doesn't have any sort of like skeletons. They literally. I mean, we've seen Poltergeist. They will literally build on skeletons.
He may not have skeletons, but he does have apparently a big red statue of a naked woman with her legs crossed, with an egg roll placed on a. It's insane.
I completely missed that statue. Did you see that statue?
That statue is nuts. Yeah, I love it. I love the B-roll they get sometimes. Sometimes you're just like, what the hell was that?
Who was the person who put the single egg roll on the statue? Who put an egg roll? Why are they serving egg rolls the same place that you can get like a sandwich with a prosciutto on it?
Listen, Chartine, take notice.
Shoma Bazaar is changing the way we do things, changing the way lunch looks. So she's doing this thing where she's like, as president of the Shoma Group, I oversee almost every aspect of Shoma, acquiring land, the hospitality division, the marketing, the sales, the leasing, the employees, the egg rolls. I know exactly where they are at any given time. Get that egg roll off the statue.
They are there.
Who put the egg roll on the statue? We are shooting a scene here. So she's just once again, announcing how important she is. So people come to meet her. So Larsa and Kiki show up, and they sit down to have this prosciutto in the presence of the egg roll. This is going to actually really bother me now because they got like several like prosciutto on like ciabatta bread.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why there was an egg roll.
There's sometimes, I'm not saying we can't have sort of open format dining, but this is too extreme.
This is really taking global cuisine too far, I think. So Stephanie calls her mom and they speak Spanish and just say hello and everything. And then she starts saying like, oh, my mom and dad call me 100 times a day. They're like my best friends. I like to took them on my honeymoon, which everyone is like, did you take your parents or did Brittany take her parents on your honeymoon?
Did that truly didn't happen. But I also think it's ridiculous what I mean, I think once again, Larson's on the right side of history, but then when she says like, you're supposed to be hanging from the chandelier, you're supposed to be having sex 4 or 5 or 10 times a day. Like she always reminds you of the crazy lies that she's told in previous seasons somehow. I'm like, oh yeah, there was that time when she claimed she was having sex 5 times a day with Marcus.
Yeah, precisely. And you know what's interesting? Stephanie is saying about how her parents call her like every single day, like multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now that she's in a way, I think maybe bragging to her twins through the TV. She's like her twin sister.
That is so twisted. I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I don't know because when she said it, I didn't think anything of it because we didn't know about her. But she's basically saying like,
I talk to mom every day.
Yeah. You should talk to me because mom and dad love me.
They call me like 1,000,000 times a day.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. That's the familiar version of saying, oh, my Birkin's getting wet.
Yes.
She's telegraphing everything.
She's family bragging. So then Kiki's talking. She talks about her dad. She has, she's growing her relationship with her dad. She found that she has a little brother and everything. And
that was just weird to me. I had no idea. First off, her dad, he's everything you would think. What can you even say about that man? Like, he was just like, how did he say that he had a 4-year-old? He was like, he said something in the effect of, we have a 4-year-old that I gave to her or something. It was like a weird way of saying.
Actually, it's literally written right here. And she said in the flashback, Kiki's like, oh, I thought you were with someone new. So you do have a couple? And he says, yeah, she got one little boy for me.
From me. She got one little boy from me. Like he did the work.
Yeah.
That was so bizarre.
It was like he said, hey, when you go to the store, can you pick me up a liter of like Diet Coke? Yeah, she got that for me.
Yeah, she got that for me. Yeah. That was crazy.
So, they're talking about parents and Stephanie's like, every day that goes by is one less day that we have on earth. I mean, time is ticking. I'm no one to talk because I was inseparable with my twin sisters. I have twin sisters, by the way. Unfortunately, I did what I shouldn't have done, which is, well, they say don't work with family and they got a job at the Shoma Group and it just didn't end well because they are shit workers. Oops, said that on camera. Anyway, now we haven't spoken in 3 years, probably because they've been getting fired left and right from every job they've had ever since.
I mean, again, this is one of those stories that I think we're going to find out the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, wow, that's really lame of her sisters. And I was like, ooh, I bet you those sisters have another story to tell.
100% they do. And she says I'm a really giving person, which is hilarious. Because, by the way, you haven't given anything so far. And you've been on for 1 episode in 10 minutes and I haven't seen you give anything.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And she's like, I mean, I gave them a Range Rover and I gave one of them a Mini Cooper. And I was like, oh. So
and they were like, "Are you ashamed?"
Isn't that like a little bit of a disparity? Giving one person a Range Rover and one person a Mini Cooper.
Those don't seem like they match, do they? It's literally like you need all the space and you need nothing.
I feel like she was trying to drive a wedge between the twins. Literally drive a wedge.
She's Manichaean. Yeah, she's Machiavellian. She's definitely trying to take over something. I like when she's talking about like, oh, I have to speak to 80 men. Sometimes, like I have to be the boss.
Yeah. I talk like this because I talk to men all the time.
Always comes back to talking to men.
Yeah, exactly. So she's just talking about how, I talk to 80 men. That's how I talk. That's how I deal. I'm a boss bitch. She's like,
and that's what I really wanted, Trixie to come in with like, I'm a boss, bitch, something.
Yeah.
Would have been a perfect segue.
And they start talking about Julia's baby shower, which by the way, I thought Julia and Stephanie were not going to get along because remember last week when Stephanie came in and remember when Julia came in and they said, oh, Stephanie doesn't like children. And then Julia had a look on her face like, but I have 2 children.
And I have my godchildren. I thought that wasn't going to work out either, but that wasn't the play.
Yeah.
They had other issues that were going to pop up.
Julia actually recruited her to sit next to her at the baby shower, much to Adriana's, chagrin.
Yeah, that was interesting. I remember that. Also, the baby shower was just funny in general because Julia talking about like, I guess Martina not expecting to know what happens at a baby shower, and she's gonna have such a skewed view of what happens at baby showers. Like some of those things that Adriana came up with, I've never seen any baby shower ever.
The weirdest thing about that baby shower for me that I could not get over was how it was just the cast. So it was probably like 8. I think it was like the 7 or 8 people on the cast, plus there were 2 randos sitting in the corner. And Adriana just had a microphone in her hand the entire time, like she was talking to like a giant room. And I was like,
think about that.
I was like, why do you have a microphone? It was driving me nuts. I was like, this is not a microphone moment.
And then when Alexia tries to say something, and then they go back and forth, and I was actually surprised they called out the bridesmaids of it all. It was like, this is so producer.
Yeah,
this is so producer.
100%. So what's her face? Stephanie starts to complain about Lisa a little bit. She starts to say how, like, she's like, well, a lot of the girls gave me like a really warm welcome, although I already know who's going to like me and who's not going to like me. And we see this flashback to Lisa last week.
Which was crazy. That was a crazy flashback from Lisa. I mean, like, she just had to be really drunk to even say that kind of stuff, wasn't she?
I think so. I think it's a combination of drunkenness and like just her base level stupidity.
That is crazy. I want to be friends with people who have jets and yachts. I just can't imagine somebody saying that if you're just not completely trash. But I think you're right. I think that's who she is.
So normally I would think that's like a super tacky and obnoxious thing to say. I do, and I do think that.
Uh-huh.
But I also feel like on this show, like it's weird that she gets villainized for that by Stephanie. Stephanie, who has come on and bragged about how she gave a Range Rover and a Mini Cooper, and she has this and that and everything, and everyone brags about all the items that they have, and she has her Birkin bag, and then she clearly, like luxury items are her love language. Yeah. And she literally says it as her tagline. And then Lisa's like, okay, I'm going to talk about luxury. Like this, I'm going to speak your love language.
Like, ooh, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah. She's like,
that's
no,
not cool.
No, you can't. You actually said that you're thirsty for my yacht, and I need me to want you to come to on my yacht or something like that. So Stephanie's totally turned off by what she sees as probably like a social climby, superficial thing from Lisa.
She sees superficiality in somebody not in the mirror, and it really turns her off.
Yeah. She's not happy about it whatsoever. But it's also like, it is a stupid thing for Lisa to say. And also just shows her true colors.
It was just really weird. I mean, I want to be friends with her. It actually made me think that maybe she wasn't addressing, maybe the editors made it look like she was saying it towards Stephanie, but like Stephanie wasn't there, because it's just a weird sentence.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know why I'm defending Lisa on this. I can also see like tongue in cheek. It's like, I can sort of see it be, I could see it landing tongue in cheek a little bit.
Maybe if the timing were a little different, it could come across as kind of funny.
Yeah.
And ironic, but that's
still
not how it came across.
Probably wouldn't say it. Yeah. So, and then Larsa, of course, piles on. Larsa's so happy. Also, by the way, Stephanie came to us through Larsa. So I think that like Stephanie has come on as a ally of Larsa to go against Lisa.
But by the way, I always feel like the person you bring on the show inevitably becomes your enemy.
Always.
I mean, always. Like, didn't Rinna bring...
it's like everyone.
Did she bring Denise on, technically?
Denise, yeah. It just happens time and time again. Yeah. It's always Bronwyn and Lisa.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's
at some point, you're like, okay, they're on the show. Okay, great. Here come the jabs.
Mm-hmm. I feel like right now, though, I think that for some reason, I feel like Stephanie's just going to stay on Lisa's neck. I think it's just like easy prey.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be able to I think she's going to thrash Lisa around all season long.
Definitely this season.
And it'll be funny.
Because we love to see it.
We love to see it.
I think Lisa probably does need some allies at some point. Yeah. We'll get into that once we get to that Splinter Van situation.
Yeah, I don't think she has any allies.
I don't think she has anybody.
Literally, right, she has Jody. So now we go to Marital, and she's like, getting ready for the hurricane. So Steve brings home like a lantern. She's like, oh, thanks, Boo Bear. Thanks for the lantern. Oh, whoa, we're gotta get ready for this hurricane. Gotta get some khakis ready in case we lose the roof.
She did say khakis in the scene. I'll give her that. It wasn't in the testimonial.
Yeah. And then Julia is like, the rain is coming down. Like, this reminded me of the episode of Golden Girls where do you remember this? There was they had a Saturday night at NBC. I think they had like a hurricane that spanned from Golden Girls into Empty Nest.
Oh, that's hilarious. I used to love those kind of crossovers.
Me too. Good. Those were the best. It was like a whole night event where like every episode had like some sort of thing.
Empty Nest was such a good show.
This is like a forgotten sitcom. And
It's totally forgotten.
Ron and I mention it quite a bit on this show. We mentioned Dreyfus and Dinah Manoff fairly frequently, but it's
really underrated.
It's a sitcom that there's certain sitcoms that fall through the cracks and never really shine in syndication.
Well, I think it was a hit then, but I feel like if you ask anybody,
no one knows.
Anybody under the age of 40 about it, they're never going to know.
It's not going to be on a hip t-shirt. You're not going to see Dreyfus on a t-shirt. And people will be like, oh yeah. Like it has no research. I think like that and Mr. Belvedere.
Dear John, I remember being pretty good.
Great. I love that theme song. Dear John.
I can sing the whole thing. By the time you read this letter, I'll be gone. We do have that in common. We do love classic sitcoms.
We really do. There's
your next podcast.
Now I'm not gonna stand on a soapbox for Nurses. I felt like Nurses did not quite really.
I don't think I know Nurses.
It was the spinoff of Empty Nest. It was bad.
I think I went 227 to Amen. That was another great combo.
That was a great Saturday nights on NBC between 227, Amen, Golden Girls, and Empty Nest or Facts of Life, depending on what year it was. That was just such a great schedule lineup. It was basically like the Real Housewives of Miami of scheduling.
For sure.
Golden Girls was like Alexia. And
oh gosh.
Meaning like
this is a whole we don't want to go down.
It's the star of the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I thought you were going to say like, okay, so who's Alexia? Is that Blanche? Like I thought you were going to go down that.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying like I'm getting real meta that like if Golden Girls were a cast member,
Alexia.
if the Saturday night lineup on NBC were Real Housewives of Miami, I think Alexia is Golden Girls. Larsa is
maybe Empty Nest.
I feel like Julia is Empty Nest in a weird way.
Really? Even with all those chickens. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not. Maybe Julia. Do you remember that show?
Julia's Perfect Strangers to me. She's sort of the weirdest. She's the Bronson Pinchot.
She really is. If Perfect Strangers migrated to Saturday nights on, there was a time when Mad About You was on Saturday nights on.
Oh, wow. Is that true?
It was weird.
Okay.
It was a weird time. Okay, getting back to this. So basically, Julia's like, she's locking up her chickens and everything. And Gertie is, Gertie's walking around and she's like, guys, this is the day one of the storm and the wind is winding. Look at this. It's already starting. Oh my God, I'm going to Gertify this hurricane. And then Adriana, this is where we find out Adriana's PSA. She is having such a creepy scene here because she's like, this reminds me of R.I.P. Brittany, what's her face in that movie? Like, I'll never tell.
What is that?
Is it called I'll Never Tell? No, it's not.
I don't know.
It was that where she was just saying that. And I just feel like that's what Adriana was doing to the coconuts. She was just like staring at them as like, I'll never tell. Because she's like saying how the coconuts are she's like, funny fact, more people die from coconuts every year than bullets. I don't know.
It's like she's looked at like charts of like all the ways you can die. And she's just like, this one comes in right between like lightning and like getting hit by a Kawasaki jet ski.
Yes. Yeah, she says more deaths caused by coconuts falling on people's heads than there are lightning striking people. I don't know what sort of anti-coconut lobby started this rumor, but I don't appreciate it.
It might be the coconut lobby. That they want you to donate their coconuts to
harvest those coconuts before they kill you.
You don't want them on the trees, folks. Get them down. We'll take them. Hurricane season's coming up.
It's a coconut drive. Everyone bring your coconuts to the high school auditorium.
Absolutely.
So we see the hurricane comes through and everything. It's wild, and it's kind of this interesting interlude because in some ways they didn't even have to show that there was a hurricane, right? Like they could have just skipped the whole hurricane. I don't think it was very impactful on anything.
No, not at all. And I think they just need, sometimes these shows, they're like, okay, guys, we need 3 minutes. We need 3 minutes of something.
I think that's what it was.
And there's so many time jumps this season. Like, you watch that first episode, it was like 2 weeks later, 5 months later, a week later. Like there's been so many jumps.
They're really all over the place.
They're really all over. Like I think in scene 1 of episode 1, people still are married. People still have husbands. By the end of the episode, nobody's married.
Exactly. So I don't feel like we needed the hurricane, but I'm glad we had it. I felt like it added stakes to an episode that was a little bit of a laser episode. It was just like, okay, we have a hurricane, And then the hurricane passes. Now it's like one day after the hurricane, and Marisol is like walking around. She's like surveying it. And she tells us, this cracked me up when she said this. She goes, well, I'm so happy that the hurricane passed right over us. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I manifested it. My manifestations have been on point. So you're welcome, Miami, because Marisol manifested the hurricane passing by. No one was hit.
I mean, can you manifest more often? Then becomes the question.
Use it. Probably. I just love it. It was like, it was her manifestation.
She saved the day.
She stopped the hurricane with her manifestations.
Marisol, unsung hero of Miami on this episode.
I always thought like you use manifestation to like manifest, I don't know, love in your life.
Yeah.
Or,
happiness in your career or something like that. No, apparently for some people it's just like, bloodless hurricane.
Yeah. Just like
no coconuts.
Yeah.
No falling coconuts.
That's actually the most important thing. Thank you. So now Alexia and Gertie meet up at a cafe. And, this is the first time since both the hurricane and the wedding. And so they say their hellos and everything. And Gertie's like, with the group right now, I just feel so misunderstood. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. So I have this little bit of time to reflect more on what's happened since Marisol's wedding party. And I've been thinking a lot about a lot of different things. And like, I just feel so helpless at the point where I don't feel like I'm being heard at this group. And like, I feel like I'm saying so many things and I'm wondering about so many things. And like, no one is understanding. Like, do people understand that like there were coconuts in the sky and I could have died? We all could have died. Russell almost died because there was a coconut nearby. Like, I think people can hear you, Gertie. But for real, it is weird. People are not like, I think it was so terrible what happened to Gertie Julia was terrible that night at the wedding.
I mean, like, and the fact that like they were like, well, now you've got to leave. Like I thought the whole thing was very bizarre.
Yeah. And a little microaggression-y, I have to say, right?
Kind of, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I mean, like, people online sort of agreed. They were just like, did Julia just morph into like the worst kind of Karen,
Yeah, I just don't know where that came from. Did she say like, okay, like, I'm on the chopping block for the show or something like that, so I've got to like go be extra? Because this is all about like a Zoom call and some sort of cruise.
Sometimes you fall off of Zoom. Like,
it happens.
It's like I saw the number drop out, and so I knew that she was there. Like, shit happens on Zoom all the time. Like,
not everyone, and it's a Zoom about announcing an adoption. If it was not important enough, whatever. It's just,
I understand why like congrats can come across as cold because especially since it's the prompt now on our AI equipped phones. But just the idea that like oh, by the way, she did something that I think was absolutely aggressive, which was she told her, oh, you'll see it in the news. Like, because she dropped off, she couldn't tell her. She couldn't just text her like, we're announced that, we've got the twins, like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's all ridiculous. And the fact that she wound up like throwing water at her. So like, it's wild. So Gertie is saying like, she's like, you know what? I texted everybody about the New York Stock Exchange thing, and everyone's like, we're all Googling about the baby shower. But like, her big thing is that she rang the bell at the
Gertie just, I don't know why. Gertie just looks really happy to take pictures. Like all the pictures of her on the cruise, on the controversial cruise. Like, she likes to take pictures. She likes to, announce that, she's doing stuff. But it is also kind of funny, like in just a meta way, how she's like, I was ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange and nobody came out to support me. Like, drop everything.
I wonder if she said NYSE in the text message, that like instead of like New York Stock Exchange, like I'm going to the NICE or whatever.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Maybe they just were like, we don't understand what this means. I'm ringing the bell at the NICE. Like, is this like new slang? Is this?
Well, I mean, we've already established that some of them don't know the word clandestine. So I don't know that we know that they would know where to go if she's like, hey, I'm ringing the bell at NICE.
Don't do it in front of Frankie. So, so she's like really upset because she's like, no, I did this cool thing. I went to the stock exchange. Gertie went to the stock exchange and no one even said congratulations. It's just like invisible. It's like, I just feel like I'm speaking. It's like not even reciprocated. Like, what is even happening? It's like my opinion is my opinion. Like, you yell all the time and like you yell all the time and everyone has ups and downs, but like, how come you can yell it, but I can't yell or whatever? And Alexa's just shaking her head like I'm allowed to yell. I'm the star.
Yeah. No, seriously. And I felt like I thought she was going to, usually when people get together at their lunch, they take the side of the person that they're at the lunch with.
Right.
But this was sort of surprising because Alexia was just like, you've got to do some certain stuff.
Yeah.
It was almost like a continuation of people not hearing her, but it did seem to come from a place of genuine friendship this time. And
I think what Gertie's biggest problem is that I think she's often on the right side, But when she gets activated, she just starts talking, and like no one, like she doesn't hear other people, and then no one, people just stop and they disengage from trying to like communicate with her. So then she always kind of like
that's
loses
what Kiki said when they were
it.
at the Pilates place. I think it was the Pilates place, but yeah, she's just like, you know, sometimes Gertie's got a Gertie, but you know what? I sort of feel like don't dim Gertie's light.
Don't.
You know what I mean? Like just let Gertie.
Yeah, like Gertie.
Let Gertie Gerd.
And so Gertie's just going on about this. And she's like, I just think that everybody has to take accountability in the sense that their own actions, And Alexia finally finds a hook in to change it and make it about herself. Ironically, because she's like, oh yeah, people not taking accountability. That's the traits of narcissism.
I think someone sent her like the word of the day, and it was like narcissus. I know. And she read the etymology. She knows it's a noun. Like, you know, like I feel like she just went to town on this word.
And she's like ready. And she's like, you know, I feel like a lot of us.
By the way, I'm having my Greek party.
Yeah. By the way, I'm having a Greek party about narcissism. I'm like, you realize you just made it about you, but you're talking about an anti-narcissism party, but you made it about you in the process, pulling away from Gertie. But yeah, she's basically like, yeah, you guys have to move forward so that way we can come to this anti-narcissism party.
Hello there. This is a 2-part recap, okay? This is the end of part 1. So thank you so much for listening to this. Just come back a little later for part 2.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
It's always a party on Allison Block.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster.
She can run my country. It's Angie McGovern.
It's always automatic with Ashley Otto. Put your hands together for Carly Clapp.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offit.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela Etchels.
We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Aaron McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones.
I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Jamie. She has no last namey.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B. Que sera, whatever will be, will Lauren Silsby.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry. We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson, it's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell, it's Raquel.
Yes, we canna, it's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman.
Let's share with Sharon Eldridge.
Darn Skippy, it's Tippy.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP, it's Amanda V. Can't lose when you're with Amy Baldwin.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's go into the woods with Guy Tubbs. It's our queen, it's Queen Laifah.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. Hail the Cork Master, the Master of the Cork, Jennifer Corcoran. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Manock's door.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley. In the study with a candlestick, it's Leslie Peacock.
We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron.
She's a whiz, it's Liz Sarthy.
Always killing it, it's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes, it's Melissa St. Rose. There's a chance of meatballs, it's Rebecca Cloud.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
We cannot tell a lie, it's Sarah Telefson.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony.
Please don't stop, it's Soli and Pop.
Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
It's always a good time when you're wasting time with Bravo. She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.